Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. Today I'll be showing you how to create this bright, fun spring look. I had a lot of fun making it. It's got a nice bright red lip, so if you want to see how I did this, then please keep watching and I hope you like it. So as you can see, I am ready to get started and I'm still in my pajamas. I'm using the lightest Krylon concealer in this palette here, putting that all over my lids. The reason I'm using the lightest color is because I want a nice bright base to go under all these bright colors. It's going to make them much more vibrant. The reason I'm doing my eyes first is because just in case I have to touch my face or I get any fallout, I won't have to worry about messing up my foundation. And I'm just using a white eyeshadow to set that concealer. I am first going to hop into my Morphe 35P palette, and I am going to use this shade right here as my transition color. I'm using a giant fluffy brush just to diffuse that everywhere. Doesn't have to be perfect, and we're going to put shadows right on top of it. Now using this bright purple color and a slightly smaller blending brush, I am putting that deeper into my crease, still diffusing it out so it blends in with that transition color. And now I am using a clean blending brush just to make sure everything blends smoothly and seamlessly. I'm using this tiny blending brush to put more of that purple shade in the inner part of my eye. Using this crease brush and that deeper purple shade next to the other purple shade, I am going even deeper into my crease, blending it out, keeping everything nice and diffused. You know the drill. And I'm also popping that in my inner corner because we are going for a halo look today. And now I just kind of go back and forth between brushes, blending and adding more color where it's needed until it looks the way that I want. I forgot to show you this color, but it's from the same palette. It's the black shade in there. I'm using that small pencil brush and putting that really deep into my inner and outer corners, and then blending it with that crease brush to make it look more purple and not as black and dark. I go very out of order in this video for some reason, so just bear with me. Starting on the face now using my Cover FX Natural Finish Oil-Free Foundation and my L'Oreal True Match Lumi Foundation. I am mixing them on this palette that I have, and yeah, you can see how much I'm putting. Really doesn't take a lot, especially because that Cover FX is very full coverage. I'm using a silicone sponge. I've only used it a few times. I'm really not sure if I like it quite yet. It really does a good job of saving product, but it doesn't blend well on its own. Here I'm noticing that it's not covering up the blemishes that I've scabbed over that I've, messed with, you know what I mean? So, yeah, so I'm gonna have to blend that out with a brush. I'll have to blend all of it with a brush, really. I mean, if it's worth the extra step, then it's a good product for you because it really does save you so much product. But I guess, I don't know. As you can see, it's taking me a pretty long time to blend this out. And finally, I'm going to use this very dirty concealer brush to go over the spots that my silicone sponge didn't quite get to. I'm going to smooth out the rest of my face using this stipple brush. I love this brush. It makes my face look so nice and smooth. I'm just using really light circular motions all over the place. The concealer that I used is Covergirl and Olay's Rehab Concealer. It's got moisturizer infused into the concealer, so it blends out really well. It's very moisturizing for your under eyes, which is great for people like me who have dark circles or people with bags. It happens, but it's a great product for concealing them. Even though I had a difficult experience with the silicone sponge for my foundation, I dedicated myself to it and I decided to use it for my under eyes anyways. It did not work very well. Did a really good job of diffusing it evenly, made my job with the brush a lot easier, but it's just not worth it to me. Once again, with the dirty concealer brush, I'm blending everything out. Setting my face using my Too Faced Primed and Poreless Finishing Veil, I think is what I call it. I love this product. It makes my skin so soft and velvety, and it's not too matte. It doesn't dry out my skin. It's just perfect. Using the same Too Faced Finishing Veil, I am setting my under eyes, giving them a really nice finish, and going back to the Krylon concealer using the same shade and popping that right in the center of my eyelids just to give a nice base to the bright color that I'm going to put there. My finger wasn't quite doing the job, so I had to grab a brush. Using my Urban Decay Full Spectrum palette, I use that bright yellow shade called Calavera to, I guess, set the primer that I put there, but also to create an undertone for the bright orange that I'm going to put over it. And here it is. This shade is called Jones. I forgot that I wasn't zoomed in, so I zoomed in real quick. I'm also spraying the brush after I get some of the product on there. What this does is it makes it show up on my eyelid much more metallic, much more shiny. It usually looks really nice, but for some reason this orange shade just was not pigmented, was not doing it for me. You know, I'm really trying when I go out of view without realizing it. Eventually I give up and I grab my Morphe 350 palette, that bright orange shade right in the corner, and I put that right on top. And so much better already. That looks much better. I use that same orange shade on a smudger brush and I very gently put that under my eyes. I didn't use a lot of pressure. I kept it very flat to my eyelid, as you can see, so it went very blended. I then added more product closer to my lash line with a little bit more pressure and a little more angle to my brush. I used the same brush to add more of that Jones color just to create more of a shimmer on my eyelid. Back to my Full Spectrum palette by Urban Decay, I am using that iced shade and popping that in my inner corners for a highlight as well as on my brow bone. I did notice that this shade wasn't very pigmented either. The matte shades and the less shimmery shades are pretty pigmented, but the shimmers just aren't doing it for me. To glue my eyebrows down, I'm using Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Gel, and this is really glue for your eyebrows. They will not move. They stay put all day long. This is Kat Von D's tattooed liner in the shade Trooper. Forgot to show ya, but what you gonna do? I wanted to keep my wing a little bit on the thinner side just because I still wanted my bright eyeshadow to pop. used a Q-tip to clean up my eyeshadow just to make it a little bit more crisp. I used a NYX white eyeliner to line my waterline, and as you can see, I'm using a flat brush to pull my bottom lid down. This way I am not touching my skin and my makeup with my oily fingers. Now going back to the smoker brush in the Calavera shade, I am setting my eyeliner. I'm using probably one of my favorite mascaras. This one, it is called Voluminous Superstar. By what brand? Couldn't tell you. It doesn't say, and I threw away the packaging, but whatever. It's got this primer side here, and I just lightly brush that through my lashes. I use a really light hand and I don't get too close to the root because that can make it look clumpy. Number 2 is the mascara side, and the spoolie is curved like you can see. It gives your eyelashes a really nice cat eye effect. And using whatever's left on the brush, I'm coating my lower lashes. Finishing the face, I'm going into Kat Von D Shade and Light palette using that middle shade right there. I'm applying it using that angled brush, and I'm using upward slanted motions underneath the cheekbone. Oh yes, look at this giant fan brush. I'm using that to contour my forehead. Looks a bit ridiculous, but I love the turnout. I'm also putting some under my chin, and I am going to buff out my cheeks just a little bit more. I wanted a really nice spring blush, so I grabbed this one that I got at Forever 21, which name I cannot read anymore. I'm using that with the angled brush, and I am applying that, also using upward slanted motions above where I put my contour and kind of blending the edges together. And of course I add some to my nose, forehead, and chin because the sun does not only hit your cheekbones, it hits all of your high points. I'm just not showing you guys anything today. This is Urban Decay's All Nighter Setting Spray. Love it! Got an extra spritz in there. This is a Becca highlighter in the shade Opal. I would open it and show it to you, but it is all broken. I'm using that fan brush and applying that right at the very top of my cheekbones, right over where I put my blush. And using my tiny fan brush, I hit the tip of my nose, my cupid's bow, my brow bones, and the arc of my nose. I'm finishing today's video with my lips. I am giving them a good scrub with my Basin White lip scrub. It used to taste like raspberry, now it doesn't taste very good, but it still works, so I deal with it. I scrub it up down, I love to rub. If you could tell me what show that's from, we can be friends. I'm lining them with a Krylon red lip liner. I'm also using this darker pencil that I just got from Sally's. to create an illusion that maybe my lips are a little plumper than they actually are, so we'll see if it works. I am using this bright, springy, ultra satin lip from Colourpop. It's in the shade Cozy, and let me tell you, I love this color. I love this formula. It doesn't dry out. It transfers. It's kind of like a lipstick, but it doesn't move, if you know what I mean. It doesn't rub off in the middle of the day. It stays on very, very, very well. I had a feeling that plumping test wouldn't work. It didn't. That's all for makeup. I just need to fix up my hair and I'll be right back.
I remember when you and me.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Truly means a lot. If you like what you saw, go ahead and subscribe to me. And while you're at it, might as well give me a little thumbs up. If you have any comments or questions, ask me in the comments. Love you guys, and I will see you next time.
She's got a whole lot of reasons she can think of.